We keep showing you a certain picture of a gentleman because the relevance of today's events are still so very, very, very important. All right, it's about the New World Order, as you just saw. Who is this? Henry Kissinger. We all recognize him as a Nobel Prize winner. And certainly he has something to say about Obama. He says he's primed to create the New World Order. He went on with something else. The world must forge a new order or retreat to chaos. Watch and warn, a new world order is coming. My, oh my, I've never heard so many times mention the New World Order. Once again, Obama set stage for New World Order. Now, this is what people in the United States and abroad are saying about President Obama's United Nations speech. He set the stage for the New World Order.
Wow.
Once again, this was while he was in Germany. Hear me, Earthling. Now, he did talk to them about a world peace while he was there, Jack.
Globalization and a world order.
Globalization, yes. Here he is with Sarkozy and Brown of England, France and England. And of course, they had a very, very close conference.
The G20.
G20 meeting, yes. Telepathic microchip could help paraplegics control computers. Now, there you're going to see something very, very interesting. Here we are in this next headline, next step in H1N1 scare. Microchip implants. Jack has talked to us so very, very often about microchip implants. The United Nations, remember last week and this week, I drew your attention to the fact that President Obama set the stage for a New World Order. Well, other countries are talking about it too, Jack. What other countries are joining in and saying, great idea?
Well, let me back up on that, Rexella. I want to talk about the 7 organizations who have been promoting the New World Order since 1910. 100 years of it, and it could go back hundreds of years to the Illuminati. But let's start with 1910 right up to the present hour. The 7 organizations have been promoting this monstrosity of the future happen to be the Illuminati, the BlDERBERGS, the Council of Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, then the United Nations, and the New Age movement, all pushing for a one-world government. And you never heard so much about it as you have just in the last few weeks, because this is the hour. And I want to remind you something. When the New World Order comes into power, we Christians are gone. We've been raptured to come up hither of Revelation 4:1. That's how near it all is. And they have a number of candidates now. Juan Carlos of Spain, Javier Solano of Spain, Prince Charles of England, Blair of England, Sarkozy of France. But Kissinger says, we are trusting that it will become Obama. And Obama, at his United Nations speech, almost declared that that's where he was headed. What an hour to be alive.
Well, you know, there's going to be someone who really will be the head of the world government, all right? And the Bible teaches that he'll be able to keep track of everybody. I've often thought, how in the world could one man do that? Well, there are almost, not quite, but almost 7 billion people on Earth. How could they keep track? Now, Jack has told us about a microchip that they're going to implant, correct, Jack?
Oh, yes. They've created it in Florida. Millions are out there already. And do you know that the BlDERBERGS, and I'll say more about them in a moment, met in Virginia 1 year ago, and Rockefeller says, we thank the journalists when they come that they do not divulge our secrets. And that's what happens when they come. They're told, you must not print anything. And they usually obey, but one fellow slipped. And he printed the fact in the papers that the BlDERBERGs planned to microchip every human in the world by 2017. Now, Rexella showed you a couple headlines there. You know how they're going to do it? They're going to say, this helps paraplegics. You put the little microchip in them and work it so that they can do things that they could never do before, and that sounds good. Then they say we're going to put it in them for diseases, viruses, and this microchip will track the various viruses in their body. I said, oh, I'd like that. Then they say we are going to also put it in them so that we can locate them at any time because of world terrorism, and that is the strong point. You want to be protected. Let us inject this thing into your skin. And at Virginia, the BlLDERBERGS said we're going to inject this thing under the skin, just like the Bible says in Revelation 13, verse 16. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of man, and his number is 666,666. You've heard it many times. But before we go any further, let me give you a little more information on the BlLDERBERGS, who are going to give this number 666 to all the world in 2017, and show you that they were also behind the creation of the New World Order. And they started with the revived Roman Empire, and they were calling it the European Community when it began, and it started with Belgium, Holland, and Luxembourg in 48, and by 1957, England, France, and Germany had joined for 6, and the Club of Rome, one of the organizations, said, this is approved by us, the Club of Rome, because it's truly the revived Roman Empire beginning. Well, by 1981, Greece joined for number 10, and they said, this is it, this is Bible prophecy, because it says there are only going to be 10 to begin. Who were they? Where is it located? Daniel 7, verses 7, 8, 20, 24, Revelation 12, 3, Revelation 13, 1, and Revelation 17, verses 3, 7, 12, and 16. Wow, it was there. But wait, the Bible goes on to say it's going to become global, the New World Order. And that's Revelation 13, 1, where the leader arises in the area of the Mediterranean. And he has power over all kindreds, tongues, people, and nations, verse 7. And in Daniel 8:23, he's the king of stern and fierce countenance, and he devours the whole world in Daniel 7:23, the New World Order. And Rexella, God shows me light. You know, I've always said to you people, he's going to come out of the Roman Empire, but I didn't see it clearly. And when God shows me new light, I'm willing to admit that maybe I didn't have it all in place as I should. You see, I've told you many times about this image representing the empires of history. Egypt and Assyria were already finished. There were to be 7. Number 3 was Babylon, the head of the image. Number 4 was Medo-Persia, the chest and the arms. Number 5 was Greece, which happened to be the stomach and thighs. Number 6, get it now, was Rome. But all I've ever interpreted was the right leg, the western part, now up to 27 nations. I never ever considered the left leg, which was the Muslim leg in Constantinople, Turkey, the land and leadership of the Muslims now of the world, along with Egypt. Wow, but wait a minute, there's more. The Club of Rome has now said we are going to regionalize all the nations of the world into one global unit. And it will be called the New World Order, but it will be 10 regions that make up the entire empire. All the nations on earth. But all of it will be the Roman Empire revived. All of it will be part of the European Union because they'll head it all up. So now I see where perhaps the Antichrist could come out of any nation on the face of the earth. And I'll tell you, the 6 candidates I gave you earlier are waiting in the wings. And Obama is the one who really wants the position in the future. This is Bible prophecy. And remember, when it happens, we're gone. And when it's in full swing, for the only last 7 years, Christ comes back and puts a stop to it. That's how near the rapture and his return to the earth 7 years later is. Keep living.